ploughed into Christmas shoppers outside Flinders Street station in Melbourne. Horrified witnesses described bodies flying everywhere as the car appeared to speed up before hitting pedestrians. The driver and a second man have been arrested. Police will not confirm if it's an act of terrorism. A young child is among the 14 people hurt, several critically injured.
Mayhem on the streets of Melbourne. A busy intersection becomes a makeshift emergency room as those lucky enough to escape injury tend frantically to the wounded. Amid the chaos, the smoking wreck of a four-wheel drive. Police wrench an occupant from within. The bearded man is dragged to the ground and arrested. It soon emerges there's another suspect, handcuffed a block away. They're accused of involvement in a horrific act. It was 4:45 when the speeding vehicle ploughed into pedestrians at the corner of Flinders and Elizabeth Streets. Witnesses told how it accelerated as it lined up its victims and sent them flying through the air.
And I just hear this big, sound like an explosion, screaming. I sprinted down seconds after the crash, and just bodies just everywhere.
Screaming, there was a bit of screaming. And there was just so many people running away, and I heard screaming, I heard the bang, and I just wanted to get my girls out of there.
At this stage, we believe it's a deliberate act. Can I repeat that? At this stage, we believe it is a deliberate act. However, we do not know the motivation.
That's code for we don't yet know if it's terrorism or simply a terrifying crime. Firefighters helped paramedics treat the injured, 14 in all, some critical. 7 are tonight in hospital, including a preschool-aged child. With the wounded gone, the intersection is now a crime scene. Detectives examining the vehicle for evidence.
The crime scene will be in place for a considerable period of time, and we are urging people who can avoid the area to avoid the area.
Those who have the horror forever etched in their minds may never want to go back. A city still grieving after January's Bourke Street massacre must now come to terms with another tragedy. Kate Jones, 7 News.
Live to Melbourne now, and reporter Jodie Lee. And Jodie, is there any update as to what's behind this awful incident?
Good evening, Sue. Well, we still do not know how or why this occurred. Police say it was a deliberate act, but won't say at this stage what the motivation was. But I can take you through this intersection here at the corner of Flinders Street and Swanston Street where I'm standing. You can see behind me that what is usually one of the busiest, if not the busiest station in Melbourne, is a virtual ghost town. Here there are a few people crossing the street at Federation Square and also at St Paul's Cathedral. Certainly this would be one of the busiest times of the year, the Thursday just before Christmas, with late night shoppers and those people celebrating Christmas parties. So there really is no one here, and I can take you down here as well, down Flinders Street, where the white SUV that ploughed into those people still sits at the corner of Elizabeth Street. You would have seen those pictures of the 2 men arrested, one man in a white shirt. He was the alleged driver of the vehicle. He was dragged from that car and arrested on the floor. Another man in a red shirt was also arrested. Rick?
And Jodie, do we know about the driver?
Well, we don't know much about the driver at all. As I said, those 2 men were arrested at the scene. The one in the red shirt complied with police and was seen talking with them as he sat on the edge of the road. But little is known about who they are or where they came from, and indeed what their involvement in tonight's incident was. They've obviously been taken in for questioning, and tonight we hope to have some answers as we wake up here in a very subdued Melbourne. Rick and Sue.
Jodie, thank you. Jodie Lee live from